I have never pursued solely what generates money, as that is a fleeting illusion. The real key to generating more wealth does not lie merely in activities that produce immediate profit, but in dedication to work and, more importantly, in the careful management of the money already earned. Many people do not realize this and mistakenly believe that they need to earn more and more. In reality, it is crucial to manage what you already have, so that this money can, in turn, generate even more resources. Hey everyone, but before we continue here, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, you're wasting time. The content we've prepared is exclusive and will transform your experience. Click on subscribe right now and stay ahead of everyone with the latest updates only we offer. Don't forget to like the video if it truly adds value for you. Your feedback is essential for us to keep bringing the best. Share it with your friends and help our community grow even more. Let's embark on this amazing journey together. The time is now. Don't miss out on this. Throughout my journey, I have realized that finding oneself in an unfavorable situation can be a consequence of the choices and circumstances of those who came before us. I am a hard-working and dedicated individual, always doing my part, and still face challenges. You may also be someone who is dedicated and does their part, but you might be stuck with ideas that do not lead to extraordinary success. Therefore, it is vital to choose your challenges wisely. Facing challenges can be uncomfortable. We tend to prefer ease and comfort. This is why many people end up falling behind. The simple is accessible and can be done by anyone, but I am not just anyone. You are not just anyone either. The extraordinary demands complexity and effort. The path to the extraordinary is filled with obstacles, and simplicity is appealing because it offers an easier, though illusory path, especially when aiming for something truly significant. Consider the perspective of someone working under a standard employment contract for 8 hours a day and believing that this is an extreme effort. Often, this person is unaware that there are others working 16 hours a day, being their own bosses. The belief that working 10 hours for oneself will compromise social life is common. However, those who love what they do can find joy in their work, even if it means working 16 or even 18 hours, with strategic breaks and maintaining balance. Therefore, the issue is not necessarily the amount of work, but the passion for what you do. Working on what you love is profoundly challenging. For instance, a football player who loves what they do faces immense difficulties and pays a high price to achieve their goal. The life of someone truly committed is never easy. Comparing to my own journey, Rick's life is not easy. My old job selling water on the beach was simpler and required less commitment. There were fewer people watching me and fewer spotlights on me. Although the job was less complex, the financial return was much more modest, but it was enough to cover my basic needs. However, what is the next level? How does one advance from that point? If you do not define a next level to reach, you might end up stuck in a bubble where you are just making a bit of money and thinking you are okay, simply because you are no longer in financial difficulty. This state can be dangerous and is hard to both stay in and get out of, so I had to decide. Continue selling water on the beach or try to reach new levels? I chose to try and set my own rules to make it happen. When I realized it was working, I adopted the rule of never considering giving up as an option. I have never done something by choice. I have always acted out of necessity. I did not have the option to quit. The idea of quitting only arises when you do not know where you want to go. My journey began at the age of 7 when Rick the vendor emerged. Until then, I had never eaten meat and wanted to try it. My mother explained that meat was expensive and not part of our reality. I asked what I should do to get meat, and she replied that I needed to work. Since I was only 7, no one would employ me, so I decided to solve the problem on my own. I planted a garden with my siblings and began selling vegetables on the street. I sold vegetables because my mother told me that by working, I would earn money, and with the money, I could buy meat. I knew what I wanted: to eat meat. The formula was simple: work, money, and meat. I started selling vegetables to achieve that goal. If vegetables did not work out, I would have switched to selling frozen treats, always with the same goal of eating meat. If frozen treats were not viable, I would start polishing shoes, maintaining my focus on my main goal. When we talk about not giving up, it is not just about not giving up on a specific goal, but finding alternative ways to achieve it. I have always carried an unwavering personal philosophy with me, no matter where I am. My mission is to be a positive force in any environment I enter. Throughout my life, I have lived in various communities and underserved neighborhoods, from small peripheries to large urban slums. At many times I have found myself in the most challenging contexts, and sometimes in the most complicated places you can imagine. Amid these adverse realities, I made conscious decisions that defined who I am. I have never smoked, drank, used drugs, or engaged in illegal activities. This choice reflects my personal belief and is not a judgment of those who follow different paths. I grew up in an environment where weapons and books coexisted, a striking contrast that shaped my perspective. My life experience can be described as a direct dialogue with fate. Look, partner, you were born here amid a harsh reality. Here you can pick up a weapon or a book. What do you choose? My answer has always been, I choose the book. When life challenged me by hiding the book, I would assert, I will find the book. And if I couldn't find it, I would write one. Even in the toughest scenarios, I committed to being the positive part of my reality. The way you position yourself in life is crucial. My stance has always spoken for me, defining how people saw me and interacted with me. I grew up in areas affected by drug trafficking and violence, but I was never offered weapons or drugs. This is due to the stance I adopted, which made people approach me with respect. I was always guided by my father, and I am immensely grateful to him for teaching us the essentials, especially maintaining a stance that commanded respect and avoided unnecessary conflicts. Despite the difficulties of the environment, it is possible to stand out, and the allure of appearances and status is often an obstacle. In the community, the desire to have the most luxurious car, the most expensive chain, or the most exclusive party is strong. Many young people see the local drug lord as an idol and aspire to imitate that lifestyle. However, I always saw my father as my main role model. My faith in God and the belief that He chose me for a greater purpose kept me steadfast. The mindset and determination I developed amidst adversity are hard to replicate but are valuable. In my youth, I was not swayed by fashionable items or appearances. Today, although I have an appreciable collection of Jordan sneakers, back then I didn't care about the status a pair of sneakers might bring. What truly fascinated me was learning from my father. With my mother falling ill early and my father as the only guiding figure, I was determined to learn everything I could from him. My goal was to absorb as much knowledge and skill as possible because I knew that if something happened to him, I would need to be able to support myself. This mindset of resilience and self-sufficiency helped me face adversity. Without my father's direct help and relying on divine guidance, I feel that I was chosen to overcome immense challenges. When I finally achieve my goals, and God's plan is fulfilled in my life, I believe it will serve as a testimony to God's power and faithfulness, inspiring others to follow the same path of faith. As 1 Peter 5:6 says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that He may exalt you in due time." I waited 40 years to see the fruit of this promise, and as I was elevated by God, I traveled across all 5 continents, proving that success does not depend on where you are born, but on the choices you make and the knowledge you seek. Experience and determination can overcome any initial circumstance. While being born in unfavorable conditions may reflect the circumstances of your predecessors, what you do with those conditions is a personal choice. I firmly believe that there is immense potential in every community, often unrecognized due to distractions with material goods and a lack of pursuit of knowledge. For instance, a young person from a community might choose between a life of crime or building a solid future. If he decides to invest in his future through education and entrepreneurship, such as opening a barbershop instead of settling for temporary status, he would have the opportunity to transform and achieve great things. Many people remain trapped in their bubbles of mediocrity, squandering extraordinary potential due to a lack of preparation and vision. I remember a significant moment from my childhood. At 7 years old, my father and I worked in a charcoal factory, the only viable alternative at the time. When my mother had a stroke, my father, with little education and a large family to support, demonstrated exemplary leadership. He asked for our collaboration and highlighted the importance of functioning as a team, even in the face of a pessimistic diagnosis. His faith and determination taught us valuable lessons about teamwork, entrepreneurial thinking, and the power of divine strength. The surgery was unexpectedly successful, and my mother's survival was a testament to the strength of our faith. Since then, I have always made the best of what I had. I worked hard to achieve my goals, whether by selling water on the streets or improving my speaking skills to facilitate sales. Since 1997, my passion for reading has helped me grow and prepare for the opportunities that arose. Today, I know that potential lies within each of us, and success depends on the choices we make and the determination we show. Before I started selling, I used to talk a lot about what I did. One time I came across a specific group of tourists and was there, offering water to one of the members. During the conversation, I heard some of them say that Brazil had already given all it had to offer and that they were about to leave the country. In short, they were disillusioned. After completing the water sale, I approached the other tourists and said, "Sorry to interrupt, but I'd like to mention that, contrary to what you're saying, Brazil isn't as mired in crisis as it seems." One of the tourists stood up and retorted, "Man, you are the picture of the crisis. You're selling water on the beach, you're in a low-paying job. Who do you think you are? This is why I'm leaving Brazil, because of ignorant people like you. In Brazil, even someone like you thinks they can comment on the crisis." At that moment I thought, this guy has no idea what he's talking about or who he's talking to. In Brazil, prejudice is so deep-rooted that often the customer believes their social position gives them more value than the person there to serve them. However, if I'm there to serve, my value is equivalent to the customer's. I often joke, want to know a person's true character? Take them to a restaurant and watch how they treat the waiter. I looked at that man and thought, he doesn't know who he's dealing with. I decided to approach the crisis issue more deeply. I went back home, where I lived in a rather modest house compared to the studio I have today. In my living room, there was just a small rack and a tube TV. I took out my phone, leaned it against the TV, and recorded a video talking about selling water. To me, it was a common practice, and I wanted to show him and others how it was possible to do something productive with just 10 reais. With that amount, you could buy half a bag of ice and a pet bottle of water, which is equivalent to 12 bottles. With that, you'd start selling the water, reinvesting the profit in buying the next peat, and so on. I explained the simple and efficient logic, even suggesting that one could borrow 10 reais to start, and then repay the loan with interest, keeping the door open for future opportunities. I ended the video with a challenge. If you don't make an effort to do something, the crisis isn't in Brazil, but in you. I used the phrase, pega a visão, a slang I didn't know well at the time and didn't intend to make viral. I posted the video and went to sleep. At that time, I had only 800 followers on Instagram. The next day, the number skyrocketed to 8,000. That was the first sign that I was facing a significant opportunity. There are two challenging scenarios for anyone with the courage to change their reality. The first is having access to money before acquiring financial education, and the second is finding an opportunity before being prepared for it. When Flávio Augusto da Silva came into the picture, I was prepared in both aspects, with the right mindset to handle a large sum of money, and with the readiness for what would follow the video. Most people don't prepare adequately for success. It's crucial to be ready and believe that at some point, you'll be called to the game and won't even have time to tie your shoelaces. I had my shoelaces tied. I spent my life reading and saying no to things that wouldn't lead me to the extraordinary. It was as if I was waiting for Flávio Augusto da Silva's contact. Most people talk about achieving the extraordinary, but don't prepare for it. When someone starts making money, many end up spending it on superficial things, like changing phones, instead of investing in the quality of the product they offer or in personal appearance. While others wanted to enjoy the weekend with barbecues, I was there on the beach working. My mindset was different. I saved the weekend money, worked on Monday, and by Tuesday, I had more money than others. While they were starting over, I was saving and showing clear signs that I knew how to manage money. Being faithful in the little things is crucial. I applied this to the little I had. Over time, I became a reference for many, and that reference today is what Rick, my name in the business world, represents. I was prepared with the financial and emotional mindset needed to occupy the place I have today. I wasn't just looking for what made more money. That's an illusion. What truly creates wealth is hard work and careful management of the money you already earn. Many people don't understand this. They think they need to earn more, when in reality, it's important to manage what you already have so it can generate more wealth. I created a 3-part rule to manage my money. I divided what I earned into 3 equal parts. 1/3 went to my salary, 1/3 was allocated to the business, and 1/3 was reserved for a reserve fund. The business was, for example, selling water. While others spent all they earned, I followed this rule rigorously. If I needed to buy something beyond the budget, I borrowed from the reserve fund and repaid it with a bit of interest the following month. If my cooler broke, I took from the reserve fund to replace it. Others didn't do this. I did, even with limited resources. People thought I was crazy. If you don't manage your money properly, you might end up thinking that all the money that comes in is your salary. But, in reality, the money isn't entirely yours. These are simple and obvious concepts that, if not applied correctly, lead to mistakes. If you don't learn about financial education and don't manage your money properly, you'll never solve your financial problems. Only when you learn to manage money will you be able to address these issues. I did it in the simplest way possible and still continue to do so. If you have to read only 6 books in your life, read the Bible first and then The Art of War. It's essential to understand that life is a constant battle. If you don't recognize this, you'll always seek the easiest path, which usually doesn't lead to success. It's crucial to understand that family-related principles are non-negotiable. I don't know what your ultimate goal is, but if you want to achieve it in the name of your family, you will succeed because your purpose will be strong enough. For me, family comes right after God. And to fight for my family, I need to know how to fight. Therefore, after the Bible and The Art of War, I recommend What Really Matters by Anderson Cavalcante and Value Generation, which I believe provide mechanisms to start and understand the scenario with limited resources. The latter is a book I highly value. After Value Generation, I recommend the book by the author who started selling water on the beach. Although many say he was lucky, he managed to sell 5 million copies. Thus, I recommend this book, and as the 6th book, The Millionaire Mindset, because it's crucial to learn about the mindset of those who seek to achieve the extraordinary. Here are some additional principles I consider important. First, never forget to. It's essential to remember this, as we end up forgetting and eventually giving up. Second, if you start a business today, you may not achieve immediate success. Third, if you don't start a business today, everything will already be wrong because someone started today. Fourth, the business will never be yours. It will always belong to the final customer. Therefore, treat that person the way you'd like to be treated. Without the final customer, you don't build your initial customer base. Without a customer base, you only have a temporary operation. This is what happens to many people. They sell at a lower price, and the customer buys because it's cheaper, but this customer is not loyal. They buy from the cheapest place. Therefore, you need to build a customer base through products, added value, relationships, or any other factor that makes the person buy from you, regardless of the price. Additionally, take care to build a customer base. Another rule is that it won't be easy. Remember that it doesn't need to be easy, just not impossible. Many people give up because they believe the path will be difficult. I continued because I knew it wasn't impossible. Bet 90% of your chips on people who have never seen you before. Another rule is that people close to you will find it harder to see your business as something real. The manicurist's aunt doesn't get her nails done by the manicurist. The manicurist's best friend doesn't get her nails done by her. The guy who studied in the barber's class doesn't get his hair cut at his barber shop. And the guy from the soccer team doesn't buy acai at the coach's acai place. The reason is simple. Envy arises in intimacy. These people want to see you do well, but not better than them. First, they criticize what you're doing, saying you've lost it. Then, as you continue to advance and show results, they reduce the criticism. Even so, they might not buy from you immediately. Eventually, they might ask for things for free or on credit, and you continue moving forward. Eventually, they might start buying from you, but initially they might not support your venture. Therefore, meet new people every day and always maintain new connections. The 9th rule is, be passionate about the next level. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is to settle for an initial goal. Imagine you start selling water on the beach and make, for example, 3,000 reais a month. At first, this might seem like a great achievement, but soon you'll realize that while this amount is initially satisfying, it's no longer enough. Once you reach the 3,000 reais goal, you should set a new target, such as 3,500 reais. And once that new goal is achieved, don't stop there. Increase it to 5,000 reais, then to 10,000 reais, and eventually to 20,000 reais. If your goals are different, such as personal improvement or skill development, the principle remains the same. Today's goal should evolve into something greater tomorrow. Many people get stuck in a sort of comfort bubble. For instance, consider a young person from a community who starts working to achieve their own things. They get a job that pays 2 minimum wages and feel accomplished. They've secured a job paying 2,000 reais and are ready to buy their own belongings. However, they fail to see that they are just starting their journey. Instead of being content with 2,000 reais, they need to look for ways to increase their earnings to 4,000 reais and then to 6,000 reais. If someone is earning 6,000 reais, you should aim to be at that level. If someone is earning 8,000 reais, strive to reach that level. But if they settle for 2,000 reais, they remain stagnant. This mentality of being satisfied with little is an obstacle to growth, and the problem often lies in the lack of passion for the next level. Many end up thinking that the job is not suitable when the real issue is a limited mindset, focused only on immediate and small gains. Another common mistake is not using your current workplace as a learning laboratory. If you started working by cleaning floors in a bakery, the next step is to observe how others perform their roles. Pay attention to the cashier's work. Understand the cash flow even without formal training and observe leadership dynamics. A boss is just a position, but a true leader is someone who sets an example. Take advantage of the opportunity to learn at no additional cost while you are there. Many people do not think this way. I have always adopted this mindset of seeing learning opportunities in every situation, which has allowed me to accumulate valuable knowledge throughout my journey. This approach has helped me reach the current stage of my professional life. Therefore, have passion and dedication for the next level, because without it, you won't be able to handle the challenges that arise. Additionally, consider your idea validated only after testing it for a minimum of 2 years. For example, someone who starts a car wash might get excited about initial success, but if they start spending money on non-essential items, the business might collapse in 6 months. Or, a barbershop that is thriving might lead someone to want to open a new location without first validating the success of the first one. Investing in a new location before consolidating the first one can lead to financial and management issues. It is crucial to validate and stabilize the first business before expanding. The desire for immediate results is a common trap. Many people get lured by promises of quick success seen on social media, and forget that achieving a higher level requires knowledge and preparation. Investing in courses and personal development is essential, but often people prefer to spend money on immediate consumer items like expensive sneakers or parties, neglecting the importance of knowledge, which is intangible and lasting. The knowledge you acquire never wears out, unlike material goods that need to be replaced. We live in a country with complex challenges and a history marked by difficulties. Instead of seeking external solutions, strive to be the protagonist of your own journey. Prepare for the numerous opportunities that arise at all times, and do not let them pass without being ready to seize them. Extraordinary achievements are not for amateurs. Many believe that success is the result of luck, but true luck is the result of commitment and hard work. Luck is a term used to minimize the merit of those who have truly earned their success. In Brazil, enduring years of anonymity and working hard is part of the process to achieve the extraordinary. When you finally get there, some might attribute your success to luck, but the reality is that you paid a high price for it. Remember that every success story is also a story of failure. Stay humble and grounded. For every 10 people who admire you, there are at least 3 waiting for an opportunity to bring you down. Never lose connection with what helped you grow: humility, essence, resilience, faith, gratitude, and loyalty. Success is not just about what you reap, but what you sow. If you want to reap something specific, you must plant exactly that. The life you have today is a reflection of what you have sown. If you are not satisfied with what you are reaping, replant and cultivate to achieve what you truly desire. Above all, never give up on your dreams. If I had given up, I wouldn't be where I am today. Your current situation may be very different from mine in 2018, but in 5 years, you could also be sharing your own success story. Are you ready for this journey?